Hi, fam. Welcome back to another episode of New Earth Rhythm Podcast. I am on one right now. Like, so much has clicked for me, became so clear. The developmental cosmology of human design, of your own energy evolving like beyond tropical astrology into sidereal astrology, and how that's more resonant with your truth, but how that differs depending on your incarnation cross. So if you're tuning into this and you have no idea what the F I just said, do not worry. I'm gonna explain it, okay? You don't need to know the full details about human design, about tropical versus sidereal astrology. I'm feeling called to break this down in real time because I know that if you are tuning into this podcast, this is something you're going to be very interested in. So let me just like quickly explain. Okay. So when you use your birth time and you look up your human design body graph, if you hear like snoring and snorting in the background, that's my Frenchie Lulu. Okay, she's right next to me. Just let her live. She likes to keep me company during these, and hopefully it will not distract you or me. Let's continue. Okay, so when you get your human design body graph, it's tracking the placements of the planets in the tropical zodiac wheel. All right, and the last few years I've really been seeing tropical astrology as it's a man-made wheel, right? Like a man-made pie with equal slices of pie, and it is a part of who you are, but it's not the full picture, because then we have sidereal or true sky astrology, which maps exactly where the planets were actually located in the sky, not on a drawn man-made map, but in the true sky, where those planets were located. Because in true sky, it's like, for example, Virgo is huge. Virgo takes up like two slices of the pie in the true sky. That's how big Virgo is. And then in the true sky, Scorpio is very small. It's just like half of a slice of a pie. Okay, so there are these two different frequencies operating at once, but they're not wrong because we live on Earth with the collective, with all of humanity. Time is not a construct, okay? Time is not fake. Time is real. We are existing inside of time, but there are multiple different clocks running at once. Tropical astrology is one clock that is collective time. That is what you are born into, and that is a big part of who you are navigating this human experience in this day and age of immense conditioning and distortion on Earth. I took some notes because I didn't want to like I want to keep this very clear. So, tropical astrology and tropical human design are how the soul interfaces with density and conditioning. Okay, and then you experience that whatever your tropical astrology and tropical human design is, you can see it as the traits that your character in this game needed to master to escape conditioning, the matrix, the distortion. Okay, and then once you quote escape and you actually come into coherence, now you resonate with the truth beyond the distortion, beyond collective man-made time. You move into a higher frequency of body time and true star time, which is the unconditioned resonance beneath that interface. Okay, so when I was, I've like always been obsessed with astrology. My whole life, I was like a kid knowing that I was a Pisces. Then in my, early 20s, mid 20s, I learned my entire chart. I learned what every planet means, every constellation, every house, like deep into it because I needed to understand myself on a deep level because I knew I was having a hard ass time out here on earth. Like I was depressed. I used to self-harm. I used to have EDs. I used to have like I'd be drinking always in my early 20s, like always down for a drink, always down for a good time, just trying to numb out and escape. Had no idea what my path in life would be. Found living to feel like sandpaper against my soul. Like it felt so wrong on these deep levels, and I couldn't roll over and take it. I needed to figure out how to make this world comfortable for uniquely me so that I could not only just survive, but truly thrive without making any compromises and without dimming or trying to fit myself into a role that was not meant for me. I knew that I needed to understand myself so deeply so that I could have a good life, which is why I was drawn to all of these different systems, Eastern and Western medicine, then, astrology, human design, the I Ching, Kabbalah, the chakra system, womb healing, like everything that my path has brought me to was so that I could understand myself so deeply. So I knew that like, for example, let's just talk about my sun sign being a Pisces. That's one, it's a huge part of who I am. I used to identify as a spiritual teacher. I've always been a mystic. It was a big part of who I was. But then in recent years, as I have been coming into alignment and embodied power and reclaiming my sovereignty, that does not fit anymore. Once I got away from the major spiritual jargon and spiritual lens and like spiritual teaching and like the identity that I was calling myself a spiritual teacher, once I could finally shed that and see that as a persona and not my truth, boom, new level unlocked, new layer unlocked. All of a sudden, I'm speaking with precision, getting my dream clients, getting dream opportunities, and I actually start making money with and for my gifts once I shed that layer. And then my sidereal sun sign, my true sky sun sign, is Aquarius, which now I resonate with that so much more. But first, I needed to quote, master my tropical essence, my entire chart, my rising, my sun, my Mars, my Venus. Like I had to master all of it. Okay. But for the sake of this example, I'm just going to keep talking about my sun sign because it's a very clear example. I basically had to master and own my true identity as a mystic, as a modern Gnostic who just searches for truth and knowledge, gnosis, right? That's a big part of who I am, which has led me here. I had to like completely own and accept my true identity as a mystic, which was hard to do, at times. It was really difficult. So it took me a while to even like accept that part of myself. And that's what brought me to this new level of my life. But then it was in the shedding of that and releasing of that that I was really able to see my true identity, which is a coherence architect, a new earth strategist, an innovator of the new earth mechanics and systems, which is who I truly am at my core, who I am showing up as now and always. It's always been there. Like new earth rhythm, I've always been talking about new earth mechanics, but I used to just drench it in spiritual jargon. And now I am speaking with precision more about energetics and mechanics. So to me, I see that as like an evolution into my sidereal essence, which has been there all along once I've removed distortion. And here's the thing though. This is the other layer to it. So in human design, so that was me talking about just astrology, okay? Tropical human design, like the human design that I've been talking about, that most people talk about, if you hear anyone talking about human design, it is always like referring to the tropical human design where you use your birth info and they track the planetary placements on a tropical wheel. So, as I said in the beginning, that is literally how your soul interfaces with density and conditioning. But then there is the developmental cosmology, which I'm going to talk about now through the lens of your incarnation cross. So if you need to pause this and go look up your tropical, well, usually any chart, any website you go to look at your human design, is very, very likely using the tropical one. I had to like dig deep to find a website to find a sidereal human design chart. So just go to like myhumandesign.com, put in your birth info, go look at your incarnation cross. It's either going to be a right angle cross, a left angle cross, or juxtaposition. Okay, right angle cross makes up like 70% of the population. Left angle cross is about 28% of the population, and then the juxtaposition cross is only like 2% of the population have that. So, my own life, so I am in tropical human design. I'm a 5-1 creative manifester with a left angle cross of migration. And I've been learning about what the incarnation cross really is in a way that makes sense from my lived experience and not just things that I've read about human design online, but things that I've come to this on my own by witnessing it in my own life and that of the people close to me. So, your incarnation cross is literally the mechanics of your destiny. It is this axis that your soul is on, this trajectory that you are born into that is literally pulling every life experience into you. So I used to believe that your incarnation cross was something that you like grew into and evolved into. And I would actually say that when I was talking to people. I'm like, yeah, as long as you live in alignment with your aura type and your profile type and your authority, as you live in alignment and you're taking embodied action through the world, you will evolve into your incarnation cross. I used to say that. I used to believe that. It's literally the opposite. I know now. I've known, but I'm sharing it now. It's literally the opposite. It is the trajectory, the vector that you're born into that's pulling you through life through that destiny as a mechanic, as like a monopole that's pulling life through you no matter what. And as you veer off that vector, that trajectory by the distortion, by living out of alignment, life will literally smack you back into place. It's like a slingshot. It's like pulling like a rubber, it's like a rubber band that's going this way, but if you pull the rubber band out on like a side quest or you're living out of alignment too hard or you're making too many mistakes or like not too many mistakes, but like misaligned choices, misaligned decisions that are too far off of your vector. It's like a slingshot. It's like boom, smack back into place. And that's why people would experience like dark nights of the soul, a Kundalini awakening, or extreme grief, or like a tower moment, or just something really excruciatingly painful, smacking you back into place. It's literally mechanical. It's mechanical. It's not like your angels and your guides being like, oh, she's not doing what she's supposed to do. Let's conjure something up in the world and send something her way, which is like what I used to believe in my spiritual lens, that it was like this spiritual realm of like operating, but it's literally all mechanical. If you veer too far off of your vector, then it's a slingshot. It'll keep smacking you back into place. So depending on how out of alignment you are, you'll experience more dramatic, like initiations and awakenings and grief and like illumination and shocks. Shocks. It's shocks, okay? You'll experience more shocks in your life um, until you can stay on your vector. And then here's the thing. So, um, I'm just going to use my own life as an example, and then I'll explain it for uniquely you. So I'm a left angle cross of migration. It's literally in my design that I would go out and have to leave where I was born, where I grew up. that I would always feel this inner calling to migrate, to go somewhere new, because I need to be able to bridge worlds. I need to be able to move us out of the old ways that don't work anymore into a new, innovative way of being. But I could never do that if I stayed in one place. So my entire life, I wanted to travel. I loved to travel. I was 4 years old, like begging my mom to go to France. I like my whole entire life, I knew I was called to go to all of these different places because that's my vector. That's the trajectory I was going on. That's what was causing like inner urges every time I learned about a new place. I studied history was my favorite subject in school. I loved learning about new places. I wanted to go to new places. I'd always write in my journal like places I was going to go in my life, where I was going to live in my life. Like it's always been ingrained in my personality, in my soul, in my body that I would want to travel, that I needed to travel. Any chance I got, I jumped at it to travel, like studied abroad, moved to Thailand. I was traveling around Southeast Asia. Then in my 20s, I just wanted to travel. I was living, but then I was living in New York City and I was working a job I absolutely hated. And my soul was so I just was so out of alignment and falling into a deep depression. And then COVID hit. So then I go back home. I move home with my parents in Westchester. I was in a personal year number 6 at the time, which was all about nourishing and nurturing my inner child. It was very important time for my family because it was like so much inner child healing. I could finally live with my parents as an adult, I was starting to become really healthy and coherent. And I was able to have this really beautiful new relationship with my parents who have always been like my best friends. Like they do everything for us. Like they're incredible, incredible parents. If you guys know Mike and Michelle, you know how freaking cool they are. And I'm blessed every single day with them. But I used to treat them like they would get the backlash of a misaligned manifester when I was in my teens, which was anger. Like they would get the brunt of my anger, of my misalignment, and they'd always forgive me for it and love me unconditionally. But it caused a lot of shame and grief within me in my early 20s when I started to reflect on those times that I caused my family pain because of my misalignment. So it was this opportunity for like me to restore my and strengthen my family relationships because family is everything to me. Like the left angle cross of migration is also heavily based in tribal patterns. Like family and friendship are everything to me. I moved home, I had a renaissance. I called it my Renaissance, like reconnecting with my best friends from home. They were all getting married that year. I was involved in all their weddings. I was like really stepping up as a good friend. I was biking every single day. I bought myself this gorgeous pink and purple bike. I was biking like 20, 25 miles a day, best shape of my life. Literally never been freaking sexier or hotter or healthier in my life. Studied energy healing, got into holistic health, started cooking a lot, fell in love with cooking, became a healthy vegan, started cooking for my parents to help them get healthier. Okay. So I needed to go home and like restore my foundations at that time. I called 2020 the year of alignment. I came into alignment and I started owning my path, owning my true energy, right? But then I meet this guy and we meet like I'm biking on the bike trail. I stop at the Trestle Bridge. I'm literally smoking weed on the bridge. And this guy like walks up to me, literally clicks out his bike shoes. He sounds like high heels, like trekking, like walking to me, starts chatting with me. He's like, "Yeah, I just moved home too. Like I was living in Brooklyn." And in my head, I'm like, this guy's cool. This guy's hot. We got everything in common. He like asked me out on a date. The next day, we go hiking. And then we start hanging out like all the time, going like hiking, going swimming together. It was just like this beautiful connection that I couldn't believe I found in my hometown. Part of me living in my hometown, I was 27 years old in 2020, moved back home to my parents' house after living in New York City for a few years. All my friends are getting married. I was literally like, how the F am I gonna meet a dude here? I was like, I need to get the hell out of here. I really want, like, how am I gonna date? I'm in my prime. Like I'm sexy as hell and I'm cool. And that was also the most money I ever had in my life. At that point, I was a business development manager in this amazing role for myself, saving money. I was like, I'm a catch. I'm wasting my potential here in Yorktown. But then I met this guy and it was like so amazing. And our friends like merged together so seamlessly. Then he met my family and it was like so easy and so beautiful and so simple. And we were like early on in our, like it was way too early for me to be thinking like long term about like what could potentially happen with us. But I literally like got drunk one night and something in me was like, end it now, break up with him now, like just cut the cord, like end it now. And I did, and I felt really bad about it. And I tried like mending it with him and saying, like, I'm so sorry. Like, can we just take it slower and try again? And he was like, no, like, you really hurt me. That was like super weird. And I was like, fair enough. Bye. See you never. And I had this really hard time like reckoning with that. I was like, why did I do that? Like, did I just self-sabotage my entire life? What is wrong with me? Like, this is the first time I had something really cool and stable, and like I could actually see a life for myself here. Like, we could have had a beautiful life together with my friends and family. We could have had a nice home. He came come from a really nice family. He's a business owner. He was literally like an inventor. Like I was like, we got like a good, it's a good path. Like it's looking good. It's looking stable. I could stay in my career. We'll have a nice life here in Westchester. Like the whole path opened up for me for a very real possibility about what it would look like to live in my hometown, which I never thought I would ever want to do that or feel that way. And I could actually be with my family, be with my best friends, and create a real life for myself with someone who seemed perfect for me on paper. And I freaked out, threw it away. I had such a hard time. I was like, what is wrong with me? I was really upset. I couldn't like fathom it. And but then but then I meditate on it. An opportunity comes up for me to go to London to go hang out with Caroline and Maya for 3 months in London. So I'm like, boom, booked it. Let's go. Go to London for 3 months. Have a fling with a London boy, of course. Have the best time with my best friends. This is still heavy COVID time, so there's like no one out on the streets. We're like biking everywhere in London, having so much fun, literally having the time of our lives, being young, doing cool stuff. I have like that's when I discovered human design was in London. That's when I literally like had my first real like reconnection with Jesus in a crazy meditation in Notting Hill. Like I had a little studio apartment in Notting Hill I was renting, craziest meditation in my life. I was like dancing and stretching, and I felt like myself click into place. Then I felt someone holding my hand, and then I realized he's been holding my hand all along, and it was Jesus. And we like I reconnected with him, and I was like, "Oh my God, you've been there all along. Like you are the one that I have been feeling and dreaming of and like thinking of. Like what's up, Jesus? You are now my best friend. You're my homie. Like, just help me reconnect with him outside of church and religion. Because I hated religion, hated church at that point, right? So, um, I just was like denying my relationship with Jesus because I was only thinking about him as the churchified version of Christ rather than the truth of who he really is. And then strengthen my relationship with Mary Magdalene. I'm feeling so grounded. Like that, me being in London was such a pivotal moment in my life where I that's where I unlocked human design. Okay, so then I go home to New York. Then Maya's like, let's go to San Diego. I'm home in New York for like 3 weeks. Then I go to San Diego. Then I extend my trip. So I end up staying in San Diego for 3 months, got a one bedroom Airbnb, reconnected with my friend Rose from Thailand. She was one of my best friends when I lived in Thailand. Her and I have the best time ever. I just get even healthier. I reconnect even stronger to like my life purpose. I start to get a lot stronger. Then I go to Hawaii, then I go to San Francisco, then I come home, and then I have my friends' weddings. I'm home for their weddings. Involved in their weddings, but I'm like I know that after this last wedding at the end of August, I'm fucking done. I'm done with Westchester. I am a woman of the world. I felt so alive traveling. I knew that that's a part of my life path. Like I didn't ruin anything by ending things with that guy. not to say he would have held me back from traveling, but it would have been different, right? So I knew I needed to be independent, traveling, no longer prioritizing meeting a man, no longer like looking for love, but let me just go be a woman of the world and live my best life and try to evolve into the woman of my dreams and be successful and be brave and be courageous. So the lat Alex's wedding was at the end of August. I pack up my car, all my favorite things, going on a solo road trip by myself. I was driving to Bonnaroo to meet up with a bunch of friends for the music festival. I'm down in Virginia, about to drive to Tennessee the next morning. The music festival gets canceled because there was a hurricane. I go to Nashville anyway because I had a friend who was like, go there. I have friends that are in Nashville right now. Go meet up with them. They're so cool. I have the time of my life in Nashville with my new crew. I know they're going to be like good friends of mine. We hang out for 2 or 3 days in Nashville. Then I say, peace out. I go back on my own. I'm like driving across the Midwest, stop in Colorado, meet up with Ali Cisco, hang out with all my friends, have a good time connecting with nature for a week. Then I head to, where did I go next? Oh wait, and I met up with Morgan Davies and his wife Kat. Like I'm just like reconnecting with all my friends who I have friends all over the world. So I'm like driving by myself, having the most amazing time in the car ride by myself, listening to the Human Design, listening to the Gene Keys audiobook, listening to the weekly I Ching with Bobby Klein, blasting my music, smoking the occasional J out my window, all the windows down, living my best freaking life, pulling over to like eat my own lunch. I had a cooler with like my own lunch in it and stuff. And then I'm like camping under the stars. I go to Utah, meet these two random guys who I was terrified of at first. Created this whole ploy to say that I had friends arriving, but I needed help. I needed their help setting up I had a 6 person tent that I couldn't set up by myself. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna have to sleep in my car. But then these two random dudes, I was like, hey, my husband's like rolling up right now. Do you guys mind helping me set this up? And then they become my friends. I was like, there is no husband. They're like, that was really smart. I become friends with them. We have the best time in Canyonlands. I'm like in the Red Rocks. It was so sick. I brought my lacrosse stick. I was like laxing around like off the rocks and stuff. It was sick. And then I go to Zion National Park. Then I go to Vegas by myself, running around. And then Caroline hits me up and she's like, we're in San Diego. If you can get here in 2 days' time, like we'll be able to see each other. So then I was like, peace out. I'm hitting the road. Like I was gonna stop at all these other at a few other places. And I was like, no, let's get to San Diego. So from when I left the East Coast to the West Coast, it was like 2.5 weeks later, arrive coast to coast, have the best weekend with Caroline and Rio and San Diego. Then I stayed with Maya's friend, Adriana, and Lindsay, and we have so much fun. Then I meet up with Doug Doyle. And I'm staying at her place in Long Beach. Then I go to LA because I'm meeting up with Tim and I go out for drinks with Tim. I'm in LA. I'm chilling at Venice Beach. I'm like, this is where I belong. This is where I belong. I'm going to live here now. And he's like, do it, girl. Let's make it happen. So I go back to Doug's house. Doug is a girl, by the way. Her name's Erin Doyle, but we call her Doug Doyle from my Hartwick lacrosse team, one of my favorite people ever. I'm at her house. I'm like, help me. Like, let's make this happen. I'm running low on money. I didn't have a job at this point. I quit my career so I could just be free. Start applying to restaurants, get hired as a server. Tim is like, we have an extra room in our apartment in Santa Monica. I'm like, done. Move in there temporarily. Then I'm like, I need to find my own place. I can't live here. So then I go on Facebook Marketplace right away. It's like 2 bedroom in West Hollywood, one girl named Nadia with 2 kitties looking for a roommate. We FaceTime instantly, love her vibe. Right away, she's like, what's your sign? I'm like, I love that you asked that. I'm a Pisces, you? She's like, Cancer. And we're like, done. Done. It's perfection. I move in that night. She becomes one of my best friends, introduces me to all of her friends. Then I've got Tim from college and JP from college. All of our friends, Nadia's friends, we're merging friend groups. Okay, then Courtney Coons from Hartwick College moves from New York to LA. Got like, felt like my sister arrived. Everything was glorious. I created this beautiful life for myself. I was living in LA for 6 months. On my 29th birthday, I come home from bowling with Tim and Nadia, and they threw me a surprise party with like 40 people there of like my closest friends in LA. Like I had only been there for 6 months, and these people loved me enough to literally go out of their way to throw a surprise party for me, which no one had ever done. I've never felt so loved in my entire life. Like I belonged somewhere, and I felt so in awe of this life. Okay, but my birthday is February 27th, right? The year is 2022. From February 2nd, 2022 to February 22nd, 2022 was the 222 portal. I know you guys remember it. It was the most exciting thing at the time for me personally. I was like, this is the moment. I'm calling in the big guns. I know what I want. I know exactly what kind of life I want. I know who I want to share this life with. I manifest with my written word and my intention. For literally 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was holding the field, recalibrating my body about what life I was ready for and what I wanted. I wanted to meet my husband, the father of my children, the man I will combine empires with, the man I will travel the world with, the man I will feel limitless with and have so much fun with and adventure with. I wanted the lifestyle of my dreams. I wanted to be of service and be the leader that I was born to be. I'm like writing out exactly what I want, owning my true identity, going out dancing in LA, like as I dance, I literally manifest. I recalibrate my energy field to be an exact match for what I want. I'm changing my internal and external conditions to be a match for what I want. During this time, I'm doing a 9-day liver cleanse, just fruits and vegetables, juicing nonstop for 9 days to clear out the old. I'm not drinking alcohol. I wasn't smoking weed. I was a clear vessel, sober, strong, out on the dance floor, being an exact energetic match for what I want. Okay, then it's my birthday a couple days later, and I'm like, this life is glorious. I'm in the full frequency of gratitude and awe of this beautiful life. So proud of myself for being a brave, badass bitch. I get to like have this beautiful life for myself in LA. Um, and then a couple weeks later, I met Nathan. I met Nathan through JP one night when we were out dancing. He's like, let's go. My buddy lives right across the street. We were in downtown Exchange. He's like, he's got a rooftop pool at the spot where he's staying and a hot tub. Like, let's all head there. I walked in, met Nathan, and literally like never left his side. Like the moment I met him, I was just like, we are on the same wave in life. I've never met anyone in my life where I just felt like this instant recognition, like a coherence recognition, frequency recognition. We get to know each other slowly, like not rushing. We're just like hanging out, having fun. He's like, I actually live in Vancouver. I just spent time in LA. He's like in the music scene, in the crypto scene. I start traveling to Vancouver and then back to LA, Vancouver, and then back to LA. I'm falling in love with Vancouver. Like the moment I get here and he introduces me to his friends, it's like I just like click right into place. It's like it was seamless. It was so beautiful. These are some of the most amazing people I had ever met. But I was like, but I also have the most amazing people I've ever met in LA. I have a life for myself in LA. But LA was starting to be so intense for me. Like LA is a very intense place, like for me, because I love the sunshine. I love dancing. I love being out and about and going to events. I will not say no to an event. Like I will not say no to plans if someone calls me and they're like, "This show is gonna be sick tonight." I'm like, "I'm getting ready. I'm on my way. Let's go." Like I could not relax in LA. I could not root down in LA. I had such lofty visions, huge visions for myself, and I wasn't actually manifesting them and moving them into form. I was trying to be a leader before I had been of service. I was trying to create a 7-part docu-series, and I was like assembling my team in LA, and we were going to go to the chakras of the earth and film at these locations, and then that was going to be my foundational work that I was going to share with the world. Like everything I had been working on and weaving was going to be a part of that. And it was so lofty, it was so ungrounded. So then I knew I just like I couldn't build in LA in the conditions I had created for myself. The world brought life brought me to Vancouver. So then I finally like okay, so then I'm in Vancouver. And then this is getting so long. But I just never like share too much about my story, so I figure if you're listening, if you care, then you might care about this and I'm gonna just keep going, okay? It's almost done, if I promise, because we're getting close, right? So I'm in LA. No, I'm in Vancouver. Nathan and I are like madly in love, head over heels in love. Like we know we're going to be together for life. Get engaged after literally 6 weeks. Insanity. Insanity. Felt so normal and right at the time. Then I get pregnant and I'm like, yeah, of course. Like this is fine, like we're getting married anyway. This feels right. Then I have a miscarriage. And my entire, like, this entire wave I've been riding, this whole thing I just explained to you about the moment I left Yorktown and started traveling the world and moving around and bopping around and being so wild and being so free and being so courageous and following my intuition and magnetizing amazing people at high frequencies everywhere I went and creating this beautiful life. It was like this massive wave, this massive wave, this big bubble, this big bubble, and then it fucking burst. It fucking burst. I got shattered, shattered at a core level because all of a sudden I was questioning every decision I had ever made since I left home around COVID, like a couple years prior. I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning every decision. And I go into like mild psychosis. I'm like, is this a sign that I shouldn't be with Nathan? Is this a sign I shouldn't move to Vancouver? Is this a sign I should not be even LA? Should I move back to New York? I was literally questioning. I had lost my inner compass. I lost my true north. I just lost it all. Like I lost the plot. I got so humbled. It shattered me to my very core because at that point I was ready to be a mom. I accepted like this is where I'm at. This baby is a blessing. I'm so ready to be a mom. I can't wait to be a mom. Then all of a sudden that gets lost for me. I'm literally like I bled for 33 days. It was the ultimate initiation and it devastated me. And then I had a choice. And my choice, I was back in New York at the time healing, and I have a choice. I'm like, do I like roll over and admit that that whole experience was just like insanity and now I can just like try to rebuild in New York? Or do I now choose to go move to Vancouver where my heart is and pick up the pieces in the life I chose for myself that I wove for myself and go back? So I chose to go back. And then I'm like, time to live my life the right way. No more lofty visions that aren't grounded in reality. I have all of these ideas and I have nothing to show for it. I go back to Vancouver and I'm like, I'm gonna live my life the right way. I start going to the cafe every single day and I start writing my first book. I start writing all my assets for human design. I start really like working on my website. That's when I got on TikTok for the first time. Every video I made was like laying a brick in my foundations that were rock solid. I get pregnant literally 2 months later with Eris. Nathan and I get married a few months after that. I lock in and I start to like I start to build my business the right way and actually be of service one on one. People start booking readings for me. I start having like a solid source of income through everything I was doing on social media, through being of service, like actually being of service, not trying to lead before I had served. So I'm like doing these one-on-one readings and I'm writing and I'm creating every single day, moving all of these visions into form, into reality. And I start to break away from my spiritual identity at that time. I'm like, where has that gotten me? Enough. Just be like, I'm starting to be more practical, starting to be more pragmatic, still intuitive, still magical, but now I'm pragmatic and practical and logical and strategic at the same time. And we have Eris. I'm in Vancouver, and then it's like 2 years go by, 3 years go by, and I'm like fully rooted in Vancouver. And the old me kept popping up, being like, let's fucking like I don't want to be here. I'm like, let's go back to LA. Let's go travel. I've been here too long. I feel like I'm being trapped. I feel like I'm being stuck. And I'm like, Lisa, you needed to slow down. The rain in Vancouver forced me to take my life seriously and forced me to take my business seriously, myself seriously as an embodied leader who doesn't just jump at any distraction that comes my way. But the rain literally forced me to work. Whereas in LA, it was sunny out, I'd be hiking, I'd be at the beach, I'd be running around, like literally anything but working. Vancouver helped me literally work, lock in. It helped me lock in. Vancouver, motherhood, and marriage helped me lock the fuck in. Desperately needed. Finally in devotion, finally got my priorities straight, finally started building for real, something to last, my empire to last. I was calling in my husband saying that I want someone to combine empires with before I had even built my own empire. I got everything I wanted in Nathan, but I got it before I was ready. So then I had to go through these crazy initiations. It was like life. This was such an intense initiation in Vancouver because it was like life in a pressure cooker. It was like we're madly in love. He is my person. He's the man. He's the only man I could marry and be with. He's a reflector. Our energy is just like his energy is the only energy that would help me evolve into my true self, into to master myself with his reflector energy and just the way he is and who he is as this like magical person. But we're going through like new marriage. At the same time we become parents. At the same time I moved to Vancouver, which was like the winters are very hard for me here, especially after living in LA. It's like so dark, so rainy, but it's what I needed to lock the fuck in. So I've been in Vancouver for 3 years now, y'all, and I have locked the fuck in. I've locked the fuck in. I built something real. I continue to build. I take divinely inspired creative action. I'm speaking with precision. And I find myself now on the other side of my initiation arc of my left angle cross of migration. So now that I have locked the fuck in and I see 2025, I kept talking about this initiation arc, and so many people were resonating with this. 2022, death of the old self. 2023, ego shedding. 2024, karmic clearing. 2025, systems and structure. 2026, coherence, soul rebirth in a new octave, in a higher level, where you have creativity and structure, where you have systems um and flow, like focus and flow, strategy and magic. Like it's all of it now in a coherent human being. For me, the end of 2025 to now 2026 is the birth of a new octave. I am a coherent human. I have removed the distortion. I have removed the conditioning. And now I have burned through something and I have gotten to the other side. So my left angle cross of migration initiation arc is complete. So that urge to travel, that urge to go somewhere, my whole life I was like hungry and on the run and so adventurous and so wild and so free. It couldn't hold me down. Nothing could like keep me locked in. You couldn't hold me back, right? Like that hunger drove me out into the world to go have all these experiences all across the world. But then being in Vancouver and devoting myself to my highest calling and rooting in and locking in into marriage, into motherhood, and into building something real and anchoring deeply and rooting in, my initiation is complete. Literally. I have moved through something. I've burned through something. I have resolved. I've migrated. I've disrupted it and I've reformed. There is a clear before and after that's built into my life geometry here in Vancouver. Now in 2025, 2026 is the after of my arc. My life moves in these epochs, in these clear chapters. And now in 2026, it is my moment of landing, completion, and tuning. This is my developmental cosmology of human design through the left angle cross. My left angle cross had an initiation arc, and I am on the other side of that arc. And my evolution is crossing into something, and I am no longer who I was. And my life before was this shadow expression of distortion and survival mode. And now, because I have completed my initiation arc, I am in my coherent expression, aligned, embodied, and sovereign. So this is my unconditioned resonance beneath the interface. And now I now I resonate more with my sidereal chart in astrology and in human design. So my tropical human design as a manifester, I needed to initiate and force and push and move my way and like cut. I see myself as like literally in the jungle with a gigantic machete, like chopping down huge bush in the tree to like carve a path for ourselves. Like that's how I viewed my manifester energy. I was like, I have to cut a path for myself in life and push my way through it. Manifestors initiate and move. It was like this very like aggressive energy that I was moving through life with. And then now that I have settled into my coherent self, that's how I have identified and speak with such precision now as a coherent strategist, as a coherence architect, how I help other people and I help communities and businesses operate in coherence. That's my evolved essence out of that pushing and forcing and initiating energy into a coherence strategist, coherence architect. My sidereal human design is a projector. So, a projector is someone who leads and guides resonance and coherence and orchestrates energy. The manifestor is the one that initiates and gets something moving and initiates others into a higher frequency of transformation and creation, which is still my essence. It's still a part of who I am. But now it's not like I'm replacing that part of myself with my sidereal part of myself, which is a 1-3 projector, still an emotional authority, still creative authority. I'm not like replacing that and being like, bye, manifester Lisa. I'm not a manifester anymore. I don't resonate with being a manifester anymore. Now I'm a projector. Like, I'm actually a projector. Like, hell no. I am a synthesis of both. And now, in my evolved state, now that I am completely out of survival mode, now that I am completely in coherence on my highest path forward, in my higher octave of life, I evolved into and tuned back into my quantum chart, my quantum traits of being a projector and the traits that a projector has for uniquely me, which is coherence and architecture and orchestration. I'm still the manifester, but now I get to also tune into those projector traits, which helps me unlock my true genius, my true brilliance, is because now I synthesize the two. So if you have a left angle cross, which there's like 28% of us in the world with a left angle cross, you have a clear before and after built into your life geometry. Your left angle cross has an initiation to it. It's going to be different. Like if you happen to have the left angle cross migration just like me, then you might resonate a lot with my story. If not, you might not resonate with it, but you have your own initiation arc. If you have a left angle cross, if you're part of the 28% of the population with a left angle cross, you're here to burn through something, resolve, migrate, break, disrupt, reform, have a clear before and after, feel like your life is unfolding in these clear chapters, and then you have a clear moment of landing, of completion, and of tuning. And that, like a turning point where I am now, where I've been since like the end of 2025 to 2026. everything that I have jumped on here to talk about, like last year when I kept talking about the eclipses, I'm like, we're going through a massive initiation, y'all. I'm like, it's helping us move into a higher octave. Like, that language makes sense for me because my life is all about these epochs, like these chapters, like these octaves, like it's so clear. But if you have a right angle cross, if you're part of the 70% of the population with a right angle evolution, then you have a personal destiny arc. You're not here to complete a karmic mission in the same way. You express a theme across your whole life, and you don't have a finish line in the same way as I do or a left angle cross. Your work is not to resolve something and to move on, but to become more purely yourself over time. So let me talk about this more. If you have a right angle cross, you are becoming more of yourself. You are deepening more into yourself, less masked and less reactive. But you are always deepening into yourself. Whereas with a left angle cross, I can say, I have crossed something. I am no longer who I was. But if you're part of the 70% of the population who has a right angle cross, you say, I am becoming more myself. No masks, no personas, okay? Less reactive, a deepening into your true coherence. And so our tropical human design is how our soul interfaces with density and conditioning. And then if you have a left angle cross, you have to cross something, you have to burn something away, and then you become literally a new person. But if you have a right angle cross, then you're able to remove what is not you and deepen more deeply into yourself, which is an unconditioned resonance beneath that interface. So for some, especially those with the left angle cross, the contrast between tropical you and sidereal you may be very drastic. Like for me, the contrast between Pisces sun and Aquarius sun is drastic as fuck. For real. For me as a left angle cross, the contrast between a 5-1 manifester and a 1-3 projector is drastic AF. Okay, but for others, especially those of you with a right angle cross, the two may look like different lenses of the same essence. So, sidereal is not a replacement, it's a resonance mirror, coherence check, a soul layer signature. So, um, go look up your sidereal astrology chart and then bring up your tropical astrology chart and check it out. What's your rising sign? What's your sun sign? Your moon? Okay, your midheaven, your north node, Mars, Venus, like literally all of it. Go check all of it and map the differences between your tropical self and your sidereal self. And feel in to the resonance of your sidereal chart now that you've been doing the damn thing, living life, removing your conditioning, tuning out of the distortion, tuning out of the matrix, becoming more aligned and embodied, becoming a conscious co-creator of your life, following your inner compass and your inner authority and your body's wisdom, creating the life of your dreams. Okay, now that you've been in it for a while, like yeah, if you're tuning into a podcast like New Earth Rhythm, you've been on one for a while, okay? So, what's your evolution been? What has your evolution been? And feel into that evolution through the language of your sidereal chart and see if that speaks to who you resonate with now, this version of yourself now. Then take it a step further and look at your tropical human design and then your sidereal human design. And then feel in, because that takes it even further, right? It's like Regular astrology is like one aspect of it. Human design is like this quantum, like ultra specific framework to describe your energetic mechanics. Go check out your sidereal human design and see if you resonate with it. See how much it changes, right? Maybe it's almost so similar. Maybe it's drastically different. Think about your incarnation cross. If you have a left angle cross, think about your initiation of the cross and where are you in that? You have a clear before and after built into your life geometry. Where do you sit right now? And be honest with yourself. Um, Without any like judgment or expectations or anything, just like observe it and feel it for yourself. If you have a right angle cross, think about all of the ways you have just been coming into deeper resonance with who you have been all along, and how you removed masks and personas, and just you've been removing everything that is not you to deepen into who you really are. And if you have a juxtaposition cross, which is like 1 or 2% of the population, then send me an email or a message because I'd love to hear how this is showing up for you. I don't know. I don't know. This is something I don't know enough about yet. I need to hear from you. I need to hear from one of you who has a juxtaposition cross. Let me know what your developmental cosmology of your own life has been, so it will help me with my research so I can share this with others. Last night, our buddy Omar was over, and he's like this crazy software developer. He's literally a super genius. I was like last night, I'm like, dude, you're like if Elon Musk was actually a good person. That's how like smart he is and how crazy his mind and energy operates. So I'm like telling him, I'm like, dude, I really want to build out my own software on my website for human design. Can you help me build out the back end? Like we're like coming up with a plan. I'm like showing him what I was like, I was trying to learn this shit myself for a couple days when I was in Portland. I devoted 3 days. You know, we got grandma watching Eris. Nathan was taking time. I'm like, I have 3 days to focus on this. I was literally trying to do my own software development. I was like, I can do anything. And then I was like, bitch, stop wasting your precious life force energy. There are professionals out there who are just dying to help you. Nathan's like, Omar. I'm like, duh. So Omar's over last night. I'm like showing him all of this. Having this conversation with him helped me unlock this entire podcast episode more deeply because I was explaining to him, I was like, I would love to have my own software that you put in your birth info and it will show you your tropical human design and your sidereal human design and show you the synthesis between the two so that you go to my website. All you need to do is put in your birth info and then you get all of that plus your numerology plus your person like all of it. Like I'm like telling him my entire cosmology of my life's work. I'm like, "Can you do this for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, done. Like, I'll figure it out. We'll do it together." I'm like, that's freaking sick. But by having that conversation with him about it, it helped unlock so much for me. So I'm like, okay, by the end of Q1, if I could have this like software built out so that I can help you guys do this all in such an easy and straightforward way, which then sends you into my mystery school. Like, I want everyone who enters my mystery school to have all of this written out for them so that they can use it throughout the 3 pillars of the mystery school of align, embody, and create. So that's my plan for right now. I've had so many insane things happen. Like when I tell you guys that I was like 2026 is the birth of a new octave. I didn't realize that I myself was talking about the way that I have completed my own initiation arc um, and what it meant for me. I just know that my language shifted, my impact shifted. I've been speaking with precision. I drew in a dream client who I knew, we both knew wouldn't just be a dream client 1 month mentorship, but that we are meant to build together long term because the way our energy complements each other is literal new earth mechanics, new earth business, everything I've been talking about and weaving and dreaming in real life, like in form, seeing it so clearly how when you are your coherent self, coherence recognizes coherence. When you're in your genius and in your true role and you are speaking and sharing and shining so brightly and boldly, You will meet exactly who you're meant to meet. You'll work with exactly who you're meant to work with, and you will all be in your true, unique roles where you can let your genius shine unimpeded, limitless, so that you can all come together and build the vision together. That is what the New Earth mechanics are. That's what New Earth business is. That's the role I have found myself in. Was offered a permanent position in this company in the role of my dreams. The role I literally created for myself as a manifestor. I carved out my own role in life, created my own role when no one was asking for it. And I tried like positioning this role to other companies and it wasn't a match. But I needed to write the whole role out so that I could own my true identity and my true role. And then coherence, Matt knows coherence. Then this person recognized me in my true role and allowed me to flourish into it by like slotting me right into this opening in her company that she's needed all along. And then here I come, this perfect match to help round out what she has been building and working on. She needed a manifester like myself on her team, holding the same shared vision of New Earth. And the way that she operates and the team she has already built out, how it's all operating, is New Earth mechanics in real time. And I am in awe. She's in awe. We're like in awe of this entire process. This is something we want to share this year, this exact process of what a new earth business looks like when everyone is in their true role and in their true genius. And the whole reason I'm even in my true genius is because I have completed my initiation arc and rooted in, therefore completing the cross of migration. And now I have all of the best of my genius, of my manifestor traits, of my 5-1 creative manifestor traits. Those are locked in. That's like my baseline. But now I've developed and tuned into the coherence of my quantum chart, which is all of the qualities of my projector sidereal self, which is a coherence strategist, a coherence architect, a natural leader and guide and orchestrator. I get to fuse all parts of myself into this role that was needed and then it just appeared. I share all of this to say that this is real. You stay fiercely committed to knowing thyself. I really hope you guys haven't been hearing just snoring in the background the whole time. Sorry, Lou. She's been loud. Okay. Literally, you stay fiercely devoted, relentlessly devoted to knowing thyself because you have to first accept thyself. Accept who you really are deep down so that you can start deconditioning and removing the distortion. Okay, and you either deepen more deeply into who you've always been or you can complete your initiation and become who you were born to be. Okay? You own who you are, you start to own your gifts and genius, and then you share them and you shine them into the world unimpeded. You don't hold back. You are bold and courageous and always stepping outside your comfort zone so that you can be seen and recognized, and other people can invite you in, or you find yourself a perfect match, like you are drawn to something, you're magnetized to something because you are declaring your truth into the world. When you declare your truth into the world, you strengthen your aura. You become these super magnets that help bring you exactly who you're meant to meet with as we slide together as these puzzle pieces. You own who you are, you speak your truth, you will be recognized, and you will recognize when you find something that is in alignment with your true path in life, your truth in life, so that you can just slide right in and get into the perfect role of your dreams where you own your role. You wield your gifts and you get paid for your gifts. You get paid with and for your gifts. You unlock your prosperity. And I was talking to someone recently who actually said, like, I've been thinking about that whole phrase, like, get paid to exist. Like everything I want will just come my way. Like the universe will always bless me. Like I'll always be able to get by. And I'm like, listen, I used to live my life that way. Like when I was in LA and I wasn't working, because I was like working in the restaurant, but then I quit that. I was delusional at the time. I was like, the universe is just gonna bless me. Like I'll get whatever I need. I'll keep this going. But that was like pure survival mode. Like it would be the day before I had to pay rent, and I'd be like, fuck, like like how am I gonna pay rent? Oh my God. And then I'd like go to the beach and I'd like dance and manifest and I'd like try to get my frequency right. And I'd be like, I need $1,000 by tomorrow. And they'd be like dancing and swirling and moving and bopping and dropping. And then like all of a sudden I would literally get a message from someone and be like, hey, can I book an energy healing session with you tomorrow for me and my friend? And I'll pay you in advance. Here you go. Send you the Venmo. And I'd be like, whoo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Does it again. She does it again. But I would literally, and I'd be like, hell yeah, Nadia. And she like lived her life the same way. She's like, I just booked a commercial. Like, we did it again 1 month. And it'd be like, each month we were like just barely getting by, barely getting by, barely getting by. But we were okay with that because we were existing in our creative genius and create like our days were spent doing what we wanted to do. But it's so like limiting and delusional because it's survival mode. Like when you're only just getting exactly what you need just to survive, you're not in your genius, you're not in your truth, you're not in your true role, because the universe like wants you to be operating at your highest level of genius. And therefore, in your highest level of genius, you have way more responsibility. You're helping way more people. You're making a way bigger impact. Not only that, but then you need to pay for everything that keeps you in your genius. So I don't know about you, but what keeps me in my genius is when I am healthy, when I'm so healthy, when I'm feeling good, when I'm looking good. I need to pay for massages and facials. And I want to be able to go buy vintage clothing whenever I need. If I see something that costs like $500, it's this gorgeous vintage coat, but I need it because it is an embodiment of my true essence. And I need that coat and I need those shoes and I need those sunglasses because they will help me adorn myself in my true identity, in my truth. I need to be able to buy all that. I need to be able to travel to wherever I want to travel to, wherever I feel called. Because here's the thing, now that I'm on the other side of my initiation cross, I can trust that whatever urge I get to go travel to is now a part of my higher genius, my higher destiny. And I need to go there, not just that I want to go there. So I need money for travel for me and my whole family. I need to be able to go back to New York because when I'm with my friends and family, it helps me stay free and clear and happy. And like my cup is always overflowing. I want to be able to pay for my parents' flights to come out here to Vancouver because that makes them happy. And then that makes me happy and that makes my family happy. And it makes us be at peace, which is a part of the whole mission. Okay, I need to be able to send my friends gorgeous flowers and buy them gifts for their birthday because my relationships are everything to me. And if I can't be there in person, I need them to know that I'm always thinking about them. And I literally never forget a birthday. I know everyone's birthday. If we have ever been friends, I know your birthday. And if I haven't sent you flowers for your birthday, it's because I was in survival mode and I was in struggle mode. And I hate that. I want to send everyone gifts, buy everyone gifts because everyone's presence alone has helped me flourish into the woman I was born to be. And if I could send them gifts and send them flowers and treat everyone to dinner and treat everyone to drinks and treat everyone to experiences so that they know that it is a beautiful reciprocal friendship and it's everyone on and under our tree plays a huge pivotal role in us unlocking our genius and making a bigger positive impact on the world. It's required. I need to be able to pay for studio time so I can film really gorgeous things and share them with the world, and they get more reach when they're filmed in a really gorgeous studio. I need to pay for production. I need to pay for all of these things that help with the larger mission. So your prosperity automatically adjusts itself to the needs of your higher purpose, but you need to work on your higher purpose and you need to be of service and you need to build something real in order to unlock your genius, anyways. So there's literally nothing wrong with wanting a luxurious, leisurely lifestyle with a buttload of money because if it helps you stay in your absolute flow and in your genius and in your coherence and brings you everything you need to be your most powerful self, making the biggest impact on the world, that's how you will get that's how you unlock your prosperity and your abundance. And there's nothing wrong with wanting so much money because you're going to do good things with it. You're going to be your best self who does cool things and better positive things with it. Working is phenomenal when you're in your true role, in your true essence. My friend the other day asked me, she's like, if you could not work, would you? And I was like, hell no. I could never not work. I'm literally doing what I was born to do. I'm doing what I'm so good at. This is my genius. It's fun. It's so fun. I'm like, this is not like a job. I'm not like trying to pay my bills with like my podcast and my mentorships and like the things that I'm doing and the things I'm putting out and the things I'm selling. It's literally an extension of my essence into the world. That's how you quote get paid to exist. Because in my existence, in my truth, it's reaching millions of people who then exchange the energy through money, sending it my way, and then I recirculate it by propping up my friends over here, starting a business over here, helping my community over here, getting something going in my community over here, having a beautiful lifestyle so that we can get out of survival mode and everyone can tap into their creative flow and their creative genius that then unlocks a whole new level of positive impact on the world. When you're in your true role, you literally, it does not feel like work. And I know people say that like when you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work, but like I just like really understand that now at a mechanical and energetic level. This will be my longest episode ever, probably. Thank you guys for listening. Um, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. I would love to. I can't wait to tell you guys more about the mystery school, about this work I'm doing, about this alliance I formed, about this real world impact. I'm going to keep you guys up to date because sharing the process of a new earth business with real world impact is exactly the kind of content that people need to witness to know what is possible for you and to inspire you to like keep going, do it bigger, do it better. Know that we're all going to come together. Like, let me know if I can help you. Let me know if you need help with something. Let me know if you have any questions. I am here for you. I deeply on like I love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. And I have a feeling like my message is totally changing. I'm not like broadcasting these generic like astrology posts anymore being like Pluto is in Aquarius and here's what it means. Like that's the collective level that everyone's going to resonate with. The way that I'm speaking now, like the creative urges I have now are speaking to new earth leaders, speaking to coherent embodied leaders. It's going to get more precise and therefore it won't just be like broadcasting, it's going to be transmitting to those who are resonating with it because then you go off into your collective and then that's how we have global reach and global impact. I don't need to try to be broadcasting globally. I speak my truth and then whoever finds it, they're a leader of their own community, of their own collective, and then that's how it ripples out and has global impact. So, that's cool. I'm speaking to the visionaries, to the leaders, to the entrepreneurs, to the creatives, to the creators, to those who know they're on an initiation, to those who feel like they've completed their initiation, to those who want to make real world impact, to those who are creating the systems and structures of the new earth, whatever sphere that is, whatever field you're in. Okay, know that we're all in this together. All right. Now this is too long. I gotta go. Much love.